Two twin Glocks strapped to my hip. Waiting for the ops, waiting for the dip. Got the drip on me, and she take a sip. Doing shit you never see, like a dream of crib.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's the INeedFoodPodcast with your boy, The Hype. I'm here with a very special guest today. We're going to be talking about cigars. Oasis Cigars in the building. My man, RC Hicks. What's poppin', player? There we go. The jingle just ain't working for me,
hey,
bro.
Hey, man, you must not like me today, but it's I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
Hey, man, it's a blessing to have you here, man. You are a real good friend of mine, man. We've been back together since, we got real close during the COVID times, man.
Absolutely.
We're going to be talking about a lot of things about how we kind of trained during COVID,
right.
your whole business right here, the whole business model right here, man. Mm-hmm. But the first thing we ever talk about on this podcast is, how is your mental health doing today, bro?
Bro, I'm very good, man. It's been this cold COVID season has affected us all differently, and it's good to have friends like you, and training partners with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and then business partners, and they've been keeping me in high spirits, and I've been hopefully keeping you guys in high spirits as well. So
it's been a blessing, man.
Yep.
It's been with the whole thing with COVID, but you helped me out so much during COVID. It doesn't even fathom. I can't even put into words right now how much that meant to me. Open those doors, and being around during COVID, seeing the growth that you had with your business and with jiu-jitsu itself, man. Which leads me to my next thing, man. I know I was there. I saw it happen, man. How does it feel to be a black belt in Brazilian jiu-jitsu, my guy?
It's a little different, and for people who really don't know a lot about Brazilian jiu-jitsu, it's not one of those things you can get a black belt in 2 years or 3 years. It's not like Taekwondo or some of the other kung fu sports, kicking sports. It takes a long time, and I've been at grappling now for over 13 or 14 years, and to finally get a black belt, something that I always thought I was, but now just wearing it and people kind of look at you differently. I don't really take any days off now, so that's probably the main thing that has changed, where I could kind of take some time off from training or take a sparring session and kind of be light. So now I just kind of have to give people the business every time, and that's probably the real difference. But that's cool too,
Yeah,
so.
no, I get it, man. It was an amazing time being there. I'm sorry I'm lost for words, because I remember getting the word that you were going to be a black belt. I was like, I need to be there that day. There's nothing on my schedule that day. I need to see him do it, because we had one-on-one sessions when everything was kind of shut. We had stuff over at Ken's house where we were just chilling. So shout out Ken. I love you, man. We're going to get you on here soon, man. We'll have the whole crew here. It feels odd not having him here right now, because every time I'm with you,
I know.
Ken's always on to our left.
And he's one of the smartest guys you ever would meet. It's ridiculous. So.
Oh, man. But let's get into other things, man. We got Oasis Cigars. It's been starting since October 2020.
Yep.
Why should we smoke cigars?
Well, cigars are there's a couple reasons why you should smoke. If you like smoking anything, cigarettes, cigars, marijuana, whatever it is, the one thing about cigars is it's not illegal.
No.
So it's not going to show up in your system the next day. You're going to get almost the same kind of high, at least immediately, that you would get with things like marijuana. It won't be the same, but it'll be you'll get a little bit of a buzz. It's way better for you than cigarettes because it doesn't have all those fillers in it. It's real natural tobacco, and it's fun. It's social. You have a lot of business interaction with cigars.
Yes.
And that's probably one of the most reasons that I can think of to actually smoke them, because you're going to meet a lot of people across business planes that are going to help you out. It's just almost like golf, almost. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
I can understand that, because I think that with cigars, I really wasn't a cigar person at all. My thing was, when I got married, I was like, when I'm at my wedding, I'm having cigars. It's the one of the pinnacle mountaintops you can ever have in your life. You get married to a beautiful bride, everything like that. So I was like, man, I need to change my palate up. So when you started Oasis Cigars, I was really excited, because I did not like cigars at first. I went to the local tobacco hut, into the little cellar that they have, and some of the dry ass stuff that they had over there. But what made your cigars different from others?
Well, it's the interaction with people. So we've been to those places.
Yes.
And a lot of times you go into those places, you have a lot of young people who really don't know anything about cigars. So you'll go in kind of not on zero, not knowing anything, and you would ask an attendant, the particulars about a certain cigar. Well, 9 times out of 10, those attendants, unless they're probably 50 or 60 years old, don't know anything about the cigars. They're there just to be a presence in the shop. Where we found that the interaction with people has been the most beneficial thing, because now we're educating them on the cigars. We're telling them about the wrapper and the filler and the binder, and trying to figure out what they like in terms of palate, what they eat, what they drink, and what goes well. So the pairings also help, and then what they're doing in their social circles. So that's probably the main thing, is just bringing the education to the people. And plus, we're a little bit different because, we don't have a brick and mortar shop yet. It's coming. But we're out in the festivals like Beer, Bourbon, and Barbecue, and Taste Festivals, and Cars and Cigars, and now, like we had talked about earlier, the Nation's Gun Show, which is in Dulles, Virginia. So we're their main cigar vendors, and that's we're in with the people all the time.
Ain't nothing like shooting guns and having cigars, fellas. I can tell you that right now. But let's talk about some of the stuff you got on here. So let me get to your first one, the one that I fell in love with, your Oasis blend. So what is that like containing? Because I know that's how I got broken into the cigar world. Right. So what made it different from everything else?
So you're holding one of the blends right there, and that's kind of like our Perfecto A, as we call it. It has the Cuban seed, it has the Nicaraguan and Dominican filler and binder. That's a Cuban wrapper on it. So it smokes very well. It almost tastes like it's like a creamy type of smoke.
Yes.
And tastes really good in your mouth. The smoke comes out really nicely, and it's not going to kill your palate, and that's the main thing. And it goes well with bourbon and scotch and things of that nature. So we love it.
Now, I love it too, because I know when you do some of your the pop-up shops, you go to all these breweries in Virginia, which is very, very interesting to me, because you get to the chance to be, hey, you guys want a beer and you can have a cigar too. You get to be, what's the thing for people with wine? What's that wine? Not a taster, but it's the one that shows you, hey, you want to pair this with that and third. I forget the name of it.
It's like a sommelier.
The sommelier. So you're a sommelier of cigars.
Right.
So when you have that kind of atmosphere, I see why it brings so much more, which is why Cars and Cigars has been a staple in Virginia for like the last 2 or 3 years. So how did that come involved with Oasis Cigars?
Well, kind of like we kind of like shoot our dart at the dartboard. We're like, maybe this will work and maybe that'll work. The whole thing with the breweries, for instance, we had no idea that would work. We had, and we'll talk about, like, I guess when we started, because we had all this inventory, we didn't know what to do with it. And we had a friend that was working at House 6 Brewery, actually. And he said, come out and see how your cigars pair with beer. We're like, cigars with beer? Maybe that'll work, maybe it won't. But it turned out to be a thing. And we just started contacting breweries on the phone and on Facebook and on Instagram. And they started inviting us out. Well, the same thing happened with Cars and Cigars. So Cars and Cigars is having an event. They had a cigar vendor. They reached out to me and said, we had a cigar vendor, but he's not here. He doesn't, he can't supply us with a cigar. Can you make us our own cigar? I was like, sure, we could do that. And we go out to the first event, and it's literally like 8,000 people out there. And we are sweating. We were like, oh my God, what have we gotten ourselves into? And that's just how it started, man. Kind of just Instagram, reaching out on Instagram and reaching out on Facebook, and it just happened.
Now, when you had to switch your supplies from, because you all had this in-house supplies, was that because COVID kind of changed your whole game plan of your business? Yeah. Like, how did it affect you mostly? Because you had to adapt on the fly.
Yeah, we were kind of depressed for about 2 weeks trying to figure out what we were going to do, because we have in our mind, the whole thing was like build it kind of like how Davidoff has built it, and we started establishing those relationships and trying to have like a Davidoff type bar where you go in, smoke, have drinks and things of that nature. When COVID hit, we had contracts in front of us in terms of real estate, having leases, and we had really no idea if it would work or not, because people weren't allowed inside buildings. So now we had to put that on hold and figure out a way to get rid of all this inventory that we now have. Because once we got our tobacco license, we're like, we have the tobacco license, which is a haze in itself. Once we had it, it's like, all right, now what are we going to do? And COVID hits, and like, all right. So my friend's like, breweries. I'm like, well, we can do this here, there, and everywhere now. It's like, let's just do it, and let's hustle and grind. And that's what we've been doing, and it's been going really well.
Do you think that helped your business in a sense to get the name out before you even have your own plant in the sand of having your own location?
I think it does. Like, when you have a shop, it becomes a kind of a go-to spot in a niche shop. You got to understand, like, smoking a cigar, like, cigar smokers only make up like 2% of the market. There's only like of all the people in the world, 2% of those people smoke cigars. So you really have to find that 2%. Well, we're going to the most likely 2%. We're going to the gun show. We're going to the beer bar. We're going to the breweries. Guess what? The cigar smokers are there, so it made sense for us to be there too.
Yeah, it definitely makes sense of that. I've been to all your events, man. Especially be out there, support everything like that. I think Cars and Cigars was very, very interesting to me because you had different cars out there, sick cars out there, and everybody's laughing, enjoying a nice brew, having a cigar. Yeah, like every time when I walked through, it wasn't even looking at cars. I was like, let me see what's going on. Everybody has a cigar or a drink in the hand and a cigar, and I think it's one of those times I was like, oh, he found something to make up for what COVID had a setback for you. So I think that's always best. I know we have this big display up here and people are like, yo, what are these? And you were trying to tell me and the crew here earlier about these cigars. These look lovely. And I think they're going to try to steal some, not steal. They're going to try to take some a little bit later today. So can you tell me more about those real quick? Because I missed that whole conversation.
Right, so those are Olivas. And Oliva, if you're a cigar smoker, you can just Google. Olivas are very popular in the cigar world. These are their 135th anniversary cigars. They only made 15,000 boxes of these. They're just starting to get online and sell online. And they retail for about 15, 16 a piece. But it's limited boxes. Now, as people buy these boxes, it's going to go up in price and up in price. It's a Perfecto, much like that, but just longer. It's a Honduras wrapper with a Nicaraguan binder filler. And it's supposed to be really, really good. I mean, Oliva makes some really good cigars. It's one of our popular brands, and that's going to be super popular as well.
Okay. Since I got into this, I'm gonna try to view this from a different point of view. What is like a go-to for you, or what do you look for in a cigar the most for you? Because I know my biggest thing was taste. Yep. And I was like, man, I don't like the aftertaste. I know some other people have that kind of situation too. So what was the biggest thing for you to get a new customer their first cigar and like, man, I love this cigar? Yeah,
so my whole thing is I have a little bit of different outlook on cigars, more than the old school guys do. They want to kind of graduate to the Maduros and the hard cigars that are going to give you heartburn and stay with you for a long time.
The Churchills, as you may.
Myself, because of how my interaction with people, it's a lot different where I'm trying to match their palate. So I go through a diverse set. I want a cigar that has a little bit of flavor in it, that may have a sweet tip, that may be medium, like a Connecticut, that may go fully, robust, a Maduro that's really heavy. So I can go through the whole range of what you would like. And when I ask certain questions, I ask what do you like to do? Have you ever had a cigar before? Because that's important.
Yeah. Break down, because there's a different way to smoke cigars, guys. And if you guys swallow that smoke, I'm going to tell you it's going to be one of the sickest smokes you're going to ever. It's not a good look. No. So how do you smoke a cigar?
It's almost like swimming. So I tell people, like, if you've never smoked a cigar, it's like swimming or just going underwater. For the most part, most of us have gone underwater before. You don't breathe underwater. At least I don't know anyone that does. You hold your breath when you get underwater. When you come out, you blow it out. And it's the same way. So when you inhale the cigar, you're underwater. And then when you're ready to exhale, you're above water and you're just exhaling. Now, that nicotine, you got to remember, one cigar, especially a Robusto, a Robusto is like a 5x50, 5x50. That's the ring gauge and the length, right? That cigar is going to have about as much nicotine as a pack of cigarettes. So if you inhale that, then you're going to have a bad night. But you're still going to get the nicotine high. And that's what I was talking about, especially like with young cats. I'm like, look, man, like you want to smoke and do whatever and drink, like have a cigar. You're going to get the same high, especially with athletes. You're going to get the same high. You're going to be relaxed. You're going to be cool. You're going to be chill. But guess what? It's not going to show up in a drug test, man.
Well, that's facts. Yep. And I know a lot of athletes are trying to dodge that. Now, we're getting into the flavors, the taste, the reason why you started the business. How did you, I might be lapping myself here, what made you create this business for you and your partners? It
was, it started out as kind of a joke almost. Like, we were into cigars. We were going to cigar lounges. We were in Florida during when COVID hit. We're
in Florida of all places.
We're in Florida at a club.
Of course, Florida in a club.
At a club, the whole world is breaking down, and we're in a club in Florida, and we're like the whole world is about to end, and we're in a club. This is how we wanted to go out. We're like, yeah, this is how we're going to go out. We didn't know this whole COVID shutdown was going to happen, but I went with a whole bunch of cigar smokers, and they had a range of cigars from your sweet to your whatever, and we had a couple friends that were kind of joking about, we should start our own cigar lounge. And then I started, and I'm kind of a yes guy. If you tell me you want to do something, I'm going to say yes. I went back home. We got back home. I started going online to see if it was actually possible, and it was. The cigar license would be the big thing to get because they're really, really picky in Virginia about that. But once we had obtained that, then we just started expanding. Again, COVID hit. We had the brick and mortar all set, but we pivoted, and it's been a good business, and that's probably why. I mean, that's why it's been lucrative. It's been fun. It's outside of the realm of what I normally do, and it's been really fun, man. That's probably why.
I think you guys have been really much a staple because I don't see any other cigar place around. You guys got the whole. I think you guys have the whole brewery belt on lock.
Yeah,
it's pretty much on lock. You don't get if you're at a brewery right now, you do not have. You will have a Oasis cigar, which brings up to the next point where we train together at Dominion from time to time. There's a brewery right across the street from Dominion time to time, and you've done some pop-ups over there. Now you have a partnership with them over at that. So how does that feel from going from having just doing pop-ups, now you have partnerships with breweries hey, we're gonna have this here when you're not here?
Well, it's building a relationship. The place that you're talking about is Ornery Brewery, and they have 2 locations. They have one in Manassas and one in Fairfax, and they've been really good to us. They were, when it was winter time, we didn't think those pop-ups would actually work. They worked.
You would assume, because the way your model was you went from, you did October a little bit, you had Cars and Cigars in I think October of that 2020, which was really a good pop-off and a really good sell-off. And I remember we had this conversation, you were like, I think this is going to be the last one because it's about to get lower. And you had kept on having the pop-ups over at Ordinary, and then slowly became everything, so it got you geared up for the summer.
Yeah, they were actually very helpful in us getting established in terms of our sales pitch, our inventory, and things of that nature. When we thought it wouldn't happen in the winter, and it actually did, and it was awesome. So they gave us a shot, and now we have our humidor there, and it's doing very well. We're still going to do pop-ups there, their Ornery Beer, Crooked Run, House 6. We're always going to be indebted to them because they gave us an opportunity to come into their establishment and actually start this business. So it's awesome. Yeah,
especially Crooked Run, because I like the layout of Crooked Run because y'all be able to go outside. You have the back area of Crooked Run. If y'all never been there, please go out there. They need to pay me for all the publicity I'm giving them.
I know, right?
But it's straight, though. It's all love. But because you just had Cupid Market out there. And explain to the people what Cupid Market was and why did you join Cupid Market?
Yeah, so it was more of a kind of a fellowship thing. We knew it wasn't going to be a big money maker, but like I said, if they asked us to do something, we were going to do it. They had a Valentine's Day kind of bazaar is the only word I can think of right now. So they had a little market out there where they had a bunch of vendors for February and for Valentine's Day, and we had our group out there with a small selection, and it did pretty well. It's just more so for for just shaking hands and kissing babies.
Kissing hands, the old presidential way, as you say.
Right, that's all. That's all it is. But yeah, we have the big pop-ups will start happening here over there in April, and that's going to be huge. So.
Oh yeah, they always have a sellout over there.
Yep.
Another thing, so I know you've been growing a little bit. I think it was originally you and your other partner. What's his name? Because I know he couldn't make it out here.
Yeah, Frank
Simmons, and then you guys got some of the OG bros out there. It was the whole business is Phil Q's. It's like the OG Q's, and if you know OG Q's, it's a sight to see. But I've been seeing that you bringing along a lot more younger cats now.
Yeah.
So are y'all calling up some of the guys that from their own, or not own sets, I don't want to say sets, but from their own fraternities, and trying to get other guys in there as well?
Anyone, man. We're hiring. So we need people. The people drive the business, and it's easy, it's fun, pay very well. And if we're not, because we're double booking events, so you have Cars and Cigars and Beer, Bourbon, and Barbecue on the same day, like we can't be at both.
You did that all 2021. I have to
congratulate
you on that.
I don't even know how we did it. I have no idea how we did it being two places at once, but we realized we need personnel. So we're just reaching out to people that want to help out on the weekend, make a little money, and it can be very lucrative for them as we go forward. So
no worries, man. I definitely. You have to grow. Once you learn the demand is there, you can potentially grow. When you start doing double booking, that's. I remember you going back and forth. I barely saw you train. So seeing both of that, man, is amazing. I'm about to switch gears a little bit because when you did Oasis Cigars, is the invention that you made under Oasis Cigars? That I have above. I forget the name of it.
You're talking about the hookahs.
The hookahs, yes.
Oh, so yeah, man. We ventured out and started doing some hookah stuff, man, and that's crazy because we really didn't know anything about hookah. So
I don't know squat about hookah. Hookah gives me. I have a headache when I smoke hookah.
Really?
I cannot. That's the one thing. And crack that I do not smoke. That I do not smoke at all. Not at all. We don't do drugs here. That's not. But it was like, how did you get into hookah? Because you went as far as the deep end of having Oasis Cigars and saying that we're the 2% there. Was hookah because you saw the growth of people not being able to go to hookah bars and was like, no, what? Since I got cigars, I might want to corner the market in that area as well.
Yeah, it was real weird, man. We started doing a Caribbean Fest down at National Harbor, and we were like, we saw hookah vendors there, and it was hardcore hookah vendors. I mean, it was like real glass hookahs they had to clean out and stuff like that. We knew we didn't want to do that. We knew if we were going to do hookahs, we wanted it to be kind of a one-offer. Like, you get the hookah, you keep the hookah. We don't want it back. We'll fill it up. We'll make sure that it happens for you, but then, it's yours. Like, we don't want it back. We're not cleaning hookahs. We don't have the facilities to do it. We're not doing it. So we had a young lady contact us on Instagram again.
Y'all, if y'all don't hear this, slide into the DMs of these guys. I'm telling y'all, like, that's how you get stuff going in the DMV. Just slide into the DMs. Man. But continue, bro.
Yeah, she hooked us up, and I honestly I avoided her for a couple of weeks, maybe a month, maybe 2 months, and we had another Caribbean Fest, and I was like, man, this young lady keeps hitting me up. Let me see what's going on. And it turned out to be one of the best things we've ever done. It's called a Miami hookah, and it's about as big as that pure leaf bottle right there. All right, and it's a real hookah. It's like fiberglass hookah. We fill it up, you smoke it. Honestly, I wish I should have brought it with me.
I have one upstairs.
I would have been smoking it right now. I mean, you can put it in your car, and the reason why they developed this hookah is because they couldn't take hookahs on boats. On none of these ships, right? They wouldn't allow it because it's an open flame. Well, she closed the flame, the hookah, where now it's a closed flame, and it's amazing. You can put it in your little cup holder, and it lasts forever. Like, it's amazing. I mean, and it's $55, and you keep it for the rest of your life. And you bring it to our events, we fill it up for free.
Really?
Yes.
Word. So since you said you opened up your palate to having cigars and everything, how did you open up your palate to hookah?
Well, the same way. Like, I don't personally, I don't subscribe to like a certain type of cigar. I'm not going to just smoke a Maduro or a Connecticut. Like, I smoke, if it's legal, I'll smoke it, basically. My favorite thing actually is the pipe, which I'm holding right now, and it's super mild and super super cool, and you can kind of regulate your tobacco there. But yeah, if it's pretty much legal, I'll take a crack at it.
I gotta understand that a little bit. Hookah's just not my thing.
Oh, it's so good. I gotta get you.
Nah, it's not my thing. It's just I never had that kind of experience. Like, I really wanted hookah. My wife is all into that, but it's just not. It's just never been like that for me.
Oh my God, you probably haven't opened up that one I gave you yet.
Not yet. Not yet, because I was like, I know my wife is gonna eventually use it. Because when I brought her that stuff, and I think you brought another thing. Well, I need to wind this back real quick, but I'm gonna finish this note. when I brought it back in, she was like, well, what in the world is this? I was like, this is a hookah thing, and this is how you do it. It's a portable hookah. She's like, oh, my God, I can do it with my girls. And I'm like, all right, there. Here you go. Here's your gift. And she hasn't just had a chance yet. But speaking of, again, that's a patent, right? I know a lot of people out here talking about LLCs and everything like that and getting all the permits and everything like that. How do you go about getting a patent? Because you had to patent your technology for that. Yeah, in a sense. So what's the process of that? And I'm gonna loop that around to Oasis Cigars as well.
Yeah, it's not actually ours. It's Miami Hooka. That's what it's called. Okay. And she did all the work for it. You know, she had the experience where she couldn't get on the cruise ship. She said,
and just that.
She's like, I can't do that again. I like going on cruises and I like having my hookah. I had to do this, and this is what she did, and she's doing really well with it. So. And then she started. I don't know if she's patented technology because I have seen similar things. You know, I'm not sure if she's gone into the realm of patenting that particular technology. But I mean, you go to U.S. Patent Office online, you submit all your paperwork that they ask for, and then you can go. We've trademarked things before, like our name, and that's. Oh yeah. So that's ongoing right now. Our whole name. So that we've done the trademarking. Follow up, but not the patent follow up. But I think she's on the way to doing that.
Nice, man. Like I know that doing businesses, having businesses is difficult. I know the whole getting the LLC, getting all that proper stuff, because I'm going through that process right now, and we in our community we don't really talk about that much about that process, and I think that it's very interesting that you took this one idea with your friends. And then y'all were like, know what, let's run it. And y'all been running it for 2 years. And then you're like, all right, let's get the whole staple in Herndon. Let's go venture out and partner up with Miami Hooka. Let's venture out and partner up with other people. So I've been seeing that, and it's been a really, really great thing to see. Just seeing some blossom in front of your eyes. It's amazing. So I have to give you flowers for that. In terms of like Oasis Cigars, so what is the plan? Well, not even no. The plan is we never say the plan. What is the goal for you guys in the next 3 years? Because I seen how you move. You said I'm taking this for one little idea. I'm gonna run with 18 months, and you ran it off the freaking track. So how you going? What's up next in like 3 years?
So yeah, we decided to stay with the whole mobile thing. We're gonna enhance it. So we have the brick and mortar location that's coming up in Herndon, hopefully by the end of this month. And that's going to be in downtown Herndon. And it's going to be a smoke shop. It's not going to be a place where you can go and smoke in it. We'll have the outdoor tent there during the spring and summer months, and then a little bit in the fall. But when the winter comes, that'll go away. So we'll have people to look forward to that. We'll have grills out there and everything. It'll be like a party all the time. Right? So that's being established. We have a couple deals that are coming up that haven't been signed off yet that are going to be potentially huge, and I can't wait to announce it. I wish the contract was signed now, and I could actually tell you now. But we have a couple, like a lounge, private lounge that we're partnering with now that will be eventually taking over. But it's always been the same. So to have our own place, restaurant, smoke lounge, and
restaurant. Hold on, you. I'm hearing restaurant.
Restaurant, now. Yeah. So we were very close this summer into having a restaurant and smoking lounge in Lansdowne, but the lease fell through. So we partnered with a restaurant group.
Nice.
We don't cook.
I'm like, wait, why y'all cooking? We have one guy bobbing in the back for the burgers.
Nah, bro, I'm a Uber Eats dude. No, I don't cook. So, but we know about cigars. So we had a cigar bar and a restaurateur chef that's up and coming that we're trying to partner with and actually build a cigar lounge based on his food and what we do. So hopefully in 2022, 2023, that's going to happen. What's for sure going to happen is this cigar lounge that's happening in hopefully Lansdowne. We have another restaurant coming aboard, Trevinia, Italian Kitchen and Wine Bar. They've contracted with them to put our humidor in there too as well. And also a mobile unit to go to these shows and have actually a mobile cigar lounge as well.
That's a lot of business, bro. That's a lot of business. Like you trying to take, you doing it. I mean, pun intended, guys. You doing it the Russia way, taking the thing 3 sides, doing it mobile. You're doing it, you know what, I'm gonna do a cigar lounge, and then you sneak in the restaurant thing. I've been asking you, and you just like, I'm going to do a restaurant too. It's just like restaurants. What made you just like, know what, I'm gonna not just do the lounge, but I want the restaurant in there? Is it because you saw that chef, and you're like, no, what, I need to partner with that chef, or is it just like, you know what, this is another venture I eventually want to put on my belt as well?
No, the food dictates the cigars. Like you can't. I wouldn't have a bar. Remember the 2%. So
yeah,
I would have to. I'm in an established location. I'm in a set location, and now I'm marketing the 2%. Well, 100% of the people eat food.
Yeah.
And out of that 100%, guess what? We can get people interested in cigars. The 2% is going to come, but it's not going to drive the business.
The business is the restaurant. The backup is
exactly
major key, like major key. Dude, it's just, that's a lot of stuff. I ain't gonna lie to you. And I was like, where can I cut up from here? Because you're just like, I'm doing a restaurant. I got the new chef. I got all these people with me. So it's like, how do you decide? All right, now we're going to get into the cutthroat things.
Okay.
What's been the hardest thing for you to do while creating all this?
The hardest thing to do, oh my God, kind of everything. It's finding people. Like we don't have enough people to do what I want to do.
Y'all hear this now, right? He don't have enough people, and he moving. So y'all gotta hear this out.
We need people, man, and that's been the hardest thing. We just don't have enough folks that we trust to take over and do things. Like we're not saying it has to be our way. We just want you to be available and run with it. And like I said, we pay. It'd be nice not to be, at the gun show and at the beer, bourbon, and barbecue and at the car shows and doing. We have expansion. We have motorcycle clubs hitting us up now, and we're not going to be able to
cover all of it.
Yeah, so
that's
another market.
So the hardest thing for you right now is people. What would you say? Besides, I know you've been lapping that twice. In terms of like, what I would say, how do you decide your partners?
Oh my God! So we had, so originally we had it's always been three of us, but it was the three that started the whole program are not the original three. We had one partner we had to cut loose because of just sloppy play.
Hey, you got to run a tight ship.
Yeah, so sloppy play, but that tightened us up because we have a lawyer that's on call all the time. He drew up all the papers. We're a stock company now.
Stock?
We're stock. Yeah, we're a stock corporation.
How did you get your company into stock? Like, are you saying like you put some of those, like, explain that for me because I'm lost in the sauce here.
So the company itself is a stock corporate, just like you would invest in Microsoft. You could invest with us. We're not public. We're private. So it's private stock corporation, and you have shares. So each owner has a number of shares, and there's a bunch of free shares that are available for anyone to buy if we allow them to, because it's private. So the lawyer set all that up. It cost a couple G's, but it's worth it.
Yeah, that don't sound like my neck of the woods. Yeah, y'all want to buy stock in I Need Food? Please let me know.
Yeah, man. but the whole situation with the partner that we had made us kind of go that route where we had to make sure that we had the tax attorney, we had the tax accountant, the attorney, and make sure that all our stuff was in tip-top shape in order for us to move forward the way we want to. And that's been the kind of thing. So that we had to cut a partner. We brought another partner on, and he's been very good. He deals with like a lot of the financial stuff, and it's been a good marriage so far.
Good, man. I know that having your vision derailed, or not even derailed in a sense, because I think that's harsher on the guy, but having the vision be blinded a little bit can bring some frustration. So yeah, I'm happy that you're able to cut that out early. And in the sense that, and I understand, hopefully y'all so good, but it's just y'all had to move forward with that.
Yeah, no hard feelings. We just, we had a different vision, and we had to make sure that the original vision stayed true, and that's kind of where we're moving at, and we feel good.
Word. Nah, I feel it, man, because like I think with everybody if you have something in your life that you want to do in your life, I think you have to I always say you need to be sure of yourself for one, and then two, you gotta make sure like your vision, you don't deter your vision for anybody.
Yep.
And you gotta go about it in the right way. I think that there's a right way to do things, there's a wrong way to do things. But having that's the main core of it. Just make sure have those things. I think that's the best you can do. I'm jabbering over here, but
you're exactly right. Like, I mean, there's people that run business a different way. They want to do kind of their way or the highway. We're not like that. We have like a kind of goal. How you get there or how we get there, we're not very particular. Like, we don't care how we win the game. We just want to win the game.
You just want to win. You just want to get dubs. Look, that's the end of the day. Just get the dub. The paper gonna come.
Exactly.
The paper gonna come. Yeah. And as you saw from the 2 years from people signing to your DMs to now having contracts, that's a whole different way. That's a whole different vibe in itself. What are you most excited for out of all the things you got going on right now? What are you most excited for?
Yeah, I'm excited to. So we went through a growing period where we had to learn how to order, how to maintain inventory, what to order, and what places to go and not go. Like we had some failures.
You're gonna take some L's. Everybody take L's.
We took an L. Took a lot of L's because we were going everywhere. And now we know exactly where to go. So we've strategically placed ourselves in places that we know makes those dollars and it's not wasting our time. So I'm excited to have kind of a do-over. We did really well last year, but I'm excited to know exactly what to order, know exactly where we're going to be, and knowing that location is going to do extremely well. And I'm looking forward to seeing those books afterwards, and also bringing on people. Like, I'm excited about bringing on, some young people, even old people. It doesn't matter that want to help us out. So
no, I understand, man. Like when I had the question, it just slipped my mind, and it happens like that sometimes. I was like, when you saying you bring people on, and the way I'm really forgetting. I'm really just I had the question and I lost it. Like, it was really one of those key ones. I was like, ooh, I got it, and just completely lost. I'm gonna get back to me in a second. So you're excited for the growth. You're excited for the build. In terms of your Herndon store, because I think that's the apple of your eye. You're not gonna say it, but I think that's the apple of your eye.
Yeah, excited about that.
Are you gonna take more of a home base approach and be mainly at the home base location in that store? And then you're gonna have everybody else trying to work, or or I don't see you doing that. I see you doing everything.
Yeah, I think I enjoy being out with the people more, and being at these festivals. We're gonna hire somebody for that location.
Nice.
And they're gonna run it, and like I said, they'll do well with it. We'll have a nice selection. We ordered, so everything is almost done. We ordered the humidors, 1, 2, 3. So it's about 140 box selection that'll be there, which is pretty 140, yeah.
140.
140 boxes, yeah. Plus, we'll have things like, we'll have the CBD, your Delta 8. We'll have, all your vapes too as well. So it'd be like your typical smoke shop, just a little bit tighter. It's only about 500 square feet.
No, man.
We'll have a little TV in there. You can sit in there and watch TV and chill out.
Nah, it honestly, that's a start. I don't think that's not all 500 square feet. 500 square feet. That's home, you know, and just having your place in the sand is different. Now I know what it wasn't even a question. It was a thing. I don't think you had major loss when you were going all those places.
No,
I think you were trying to cast your net.
Yes,
and then you found what you reeled back in.
Yep.
And you're like, all right, now I know how to get what kind of fish I want.
Yeah.
That was the thing I kind of wanted to say, because that was missing my mind for the longest, bro. Oh my God, I was like, I know I just had something, but I just freaking lost it.
Yep.
Man, one more question before we're gonna dive in these pod deck questions.
Okay.
What would you say? What event are you looking forward to this year? Because I know you got Cars and Cigars. That's one.
Right.
That's 3 or 4 times a year, guys. Just to let y'all know. You also have, I think you do House 6 Brewery every once in a blue moon.
Do House 6, Crooked Run,
and Crooked Run,
Ornery Brewery.
Are you excited for the first open air Cars and Cigars?
Yeah,
because Cars and Cigars is a different beast.
Yeah, so Cars and Cigars this year, the first one I think is April 9th, and that'd be one of our. So we have a humidor, a large humidor,
In the DC Prime Steakhouse?
At the DC Prime Steakhouse. It's huge. It's a nice. It's
nice, bro.
It's awesome. It's actually DC Prime is one of our first locations too. They kind of took us and put their arm around us and made sure that we were doing well. And so DC Prime, April 9th, Cars and Cigars. It's going to be awesome.
It's gonna be awesome. I'm definitely gonna update everybody when your home base gets in there, because I know Old Town Herndon's like that. Are you near the bar? Well, one more question. Are you near the bars in Old Town Herndon, or are you more on the other side?
So I'm a little bit further up.
Okay.
A little bit further up, there's a fire station that's there in Herndon. I'm not sure if you're familiar with it.
No, I don't venture out to Old Town Herndon that much.
Okay. So there's a fire station and there's a Nate's barbershop. Nate's like real popular in Herndon. I'm send this to him, so so we're right there with Nate, right in that barbershop location.
Gotcha.
Barbershop location. So
I know I don't venture out to Old Town Herndon that much. I've been there one time, and it was for a wedding event that it was for my wife's friend, I think it was.
Okay.
And I went to it was, and I've been to Old Town once. I've never been back again.
Oh man, well you got a reason to come out now. We're gonna have a lot of fun, no doubt.
Oh no worries. All right, now let's get into Poddex now. For
Poddex,
people that don't know what Poddex is, we just got affiliated with Poddex with the program. What Poddex is, it gives me a whole dash of questions that I have not seen before. Different topics. We got some extra time here because it's different topics right now. Okay. I'm gonna just I've been giving people different things, right? So I'm gonna definitely do Black History Month, because this is the Black History Month episode, even though it's gonna probably be coming out in March, but it's okay, because you know why? We're gonna take that first week in March as well. We need the extra week. All right. So we got Black History Month for one. I'm gonna do
every month is Black History.
That is facts. Anyway, we got Black History Month for one. I'm gonna do Foodie number 2. I'm gonna give you an option which deck you want. I'm gonna give you 2 choices for the third one. All right. I'm gonna get you the Hustle, or do you want Philosophy for your third deck?
Oh my God, the Hustle or Philosophy?
Yeah.
Let's do Philosophy.
Philosophy 300, Alex. Let's do Philosophy first. Let me do 2 questions through here real quick.
All right.
No, we're not going to do if you could choose your last words, what would they be?
Oh my God. That would be it.
Oh my God.
That's about it. Yeah, man.
Dude, what would my last words be? He's like, well, shit, that's it. It's like, that's all she wrote, boss.
Have you ever had a near-death experience?
Yes, once. You want to hear about it?
I would like to hear about it, and I'll tell you mine. And I'll tell you what I said.
So here's what happened to me, guys. So I went to Hawaii, right? So it was my not anniversary. It was my honeymoon. If I get this right, my wife's gonna slap me. Mm-hmm. So my wife really wanted to go to Hawaii. I told my wife, I was like, you know what? It's like, let's go to Hawaii. You plan out the trip. Let me know what the budget is. We get it good, right? So I get to Hawaii. She plans out what she wants to do. I'm like, all right, cool. We're going to go here one day. We're going to go here the next. We're going to here the third. So on the third day of Hawaii, she was like, let's go. She wants to swim with the dolphins. We already knew she wanted to swim with dolphins. But the entire time that I was swimming, she was talking about the trip and the events. She kept on asking me, Will, can you swim? And I'm like, look, I know I'm black. I understand that. I know how to swim in the burbs. I don't know how to swim in open ocean water. Like, come on now. It's a lot of difference. I was like, look, I don't know if you can swim. You're African. I just don't know.
Wow.
We fight dirty in the Bullock household. All right, we fight dirty in the Bullock household. So anyway, she kept on asking me that. I was like, yeah, I can swim. I can burb swim. That's all I got, right? So we get to Hawaii. We get to the marina, right? We get to the boat. When I get on the boat, I don't see any instructions on the boat. You know me, there's like a pad of instructions on a boat, right? Yeah, there was none of that. And I finally saw everything above there. They give us a little prep talk. They send us out, right? We getting our life vests on, everything to let us know. As the boat is going out to sea, right? I can see the look on me and my wife's face, because she thinks it's going to be like this nice little kiddie pool area. The dolphins going to come in. Right. We're going to swim with the dolphins a little bit in 5-6 feet water. We're going to go out. No, we're going about 1,000 miles offshore, right?
Yeah, that's not good.
Oh, no, it's not. When I'm looking at my wife, we did not have life vests on. They gave us flippers, and that was it. And we were the only black people in there. And there was people older than us. There was a grandma on the boat. It's like, yeah, whole swimsuit on. Like, all right, we're gonna get to these dolphins. She had lettuce in her hand and everything. So we get off the boat, right? Everybody, all the white people go off first. And I'm like, oh man, they go on all this stuff. And then me and Rose go, right? As I'm going in, and I'm trying to swim up, and I'm like, oh, my legs cramped. Oh no, I'm going, like I can see like the water coming in. I'm like, this it. Like my wife got some special insurance policy on me real quick.
Oh wow.
And then the guy throws me a pink noodle. Saved my freaking life. I got saved by a noodle, bro. I didn't want to go back in the water.
So you almost died diving off the boat.
Yes.
And got saved by a pink noodle.
By a pink noodle.
That's pretty funny.
Oh yeah. And I know when Dollar hears this back, he's gonna never let me up.
Yeah. That's pretty. You caught a cramp first.
I caught a cramp while I was trying to tread water with the flippers, which I never used before. And I don't know why you need to use flippers, but that's another subject. And yeah, I got saved by a pink noodle, dog. I'm not too fond of that.
That's pretty near death.
Yeah, I've never let my wife down from that moment.
Right.
I was like, do you have an insurance policy on me that's like $100K or something? Like, you don't just set your man up for that at all, of having just, we're going to swim with the dolphins. And I was like, did you even read the flyer at least of like what we're going to do? Like, come on now. And she had problems too. She almost drowned as well. But the person on the boat went out and saved her ass.
Man, you can't. Black people can't swim. Man.
We can't swim. Like, why we gotta be swimming? Why? I mean, I don't want to see stingrays either. They got freaking the crocodile Dundee. I want to do all that shit. She got me out there. But what's yours?
It's a stereotype. We can't swim.
No,
Will
is.
Can't swim.
I can't. I cannot. I sink. I don't float down here. All right. What was your near death?
Yeah. So I was driving. It was the winter time. This was a couple years ago, and I'm driving the car. I'm driving to Pennsylvania on the Pennsylvania Turnpike, and I hit ice. And the car just started spinning. Well, my last words would have been, oh, shit, because that's all I said. I mean, spinning in the turn. Like, imagine a car just spinning in the turnpike. I'm like, a truck is going to hit me. Like, something's going to hit me.
Talking on the ramp side? Or are you talking in the middle?
I'm talking in the middle of the freaking turnpike.
Oh, nah. Oh, nah.
So I wind up just going to a ditch, but my last words would have been, oh, shit.
Oh, nah.
That's all I could say.
Oh, nah. My biggest fear is getting an accident on one of those DC bridges.
Oh my God.
That's one of my biggest fears, and it still haunts me to this day.
Yeah, man.
All right, next one. Yep. I know I already had this up on here.
Uh-huh.
It's still from philosophy. And the reason why I'm asking this, because you're a tech guy. Will robots take over the world in the future?
I don't think so. I think we built enough AI where we have enough position to actually control AI, artificial intelligence and learning. Really big into programming and things of that nature in terms of software and developing those whole instances. We have enough safeguards in that realm where we can shut stuff off really quickly. Robots will be, they'll be able to do menial jobs in terms of us programming them. I believe one of the hamburger chains has now started to promote robots in terms of making like cheeseburgers, hamburgers, milkshakes, and stuff like that to get rid of the manual labor type thing. So people are going to have to come up with different ways to make money as this technology grows. But we have a bunch of safeguards. It won't happen.
I beg to differ. I saw the robot in China. You saw that robot?
I did. I saw it.
No. I think I think robots will eventually take over the world. I don't think in our lifetime. I think our AI will eventually be smart enough.
Right.
I do think robots will be definitely bigger in the future. I think they're going to even replace some military aspects of it. I think the first movie that comes to mind to me is Stealth, in terms of like fighter pilots. And the way I saw that Chinese robot just like hammer stuff, I was like, yeah, it's probably going to do some things with that. But to me, that's my bear. I'm like on that line. It's not like Skynet, but it's like it's on that line.
Skynet, yeah. I think the scientists, the data scientists, are doing a good job of like building those safeguards within the technology itself, man. But you never know. There's gonna be somebody rogue out there trying to build a Skynet.
I got a good one. We're moving on to Black History Month. Representation matters, right? How has representation or lack thereof shaped you?
A lot. So I thought I was having this question or just debate with my wife when we were talking about when was the first time you had a black male teacher, and I said it's all context. A person living in the country, in the deep country, or in the city, in the city, it's probably going to have more of a black male influence than somebody living in Utah. But the representation in terms of all of those industries, whether it's teaching or doctors or lawyers or construction workers, barbers, whatever it is very important because they shape, how you think about yourself. You want to see yourself in those positions. And I tell people that's why like Barack Obama was so important, because no matter what you think about his presidency, it gives, I just had a son. It gives him an opportunity to say, hey, well, I can be president of the United States. I see somebody that looks like me that's able. He sees lawyers and doctors and businessmen and people who are hustling all the time, athletes. But to see somebody that looks like you doing something that you're interested in is so important.
It's definitely important. I'll definitely co-sign everything to that. I will add one more tip to that. My personal story. So in jiu-jitsu, there's not very many of us in jiu-jitsu.
I know, it's a shame.
It is a shame. But what made me get through jiu-jitsu is seen bigger guys like Isaac July as a black belt, seeing you, seeing Mel from
I
love Mel.
Lewis,
he's actually cousin by marriage.
Really?
From my sister, who married his so my sister married my brother-in-law. He is cousins with my brother-in-law, so he's family by marriage. So I'm like, all right, so we got black belts on both sides. Seeing that, I know I'm leaving some guys out, like Kev, my boy, Kurt, that's under Isaac. Like, seeing that made me want to do jiu-jitsu more. It's like, all right, I got other people in here that I know that can do. Oh, my bad. The high noon coach that's around here, Tim Dawson.
Tim Dawson's awesome.
Many more, but it's like seeing that is like one of the main things that I love. That's why I fell in love, even with MMA. You can say what you want about John Jones, but he was the first guy I really saw besides Rampage Jackson. That I was like, oh, this I can follow that, or Floyd Mayweather for some people out there, or The Rock of your wrestling fans. Like, you gotta have those representations in certain things so you can see the different levels that they can go.
It's good to have those influences. I think my biggest one was probably Lloyd Irvin.
Yo, I'm gonna get beat, bro, because Lloyd, DJ Jackson, Astro World, brown belt over there,
Hulk, Mike Easton,
Sadiq, who's having an MMA fight soon on March 12th, Mushin, all those cats, man. I'm totally sorry about the cats over at Lloyd Irvin, man. Because if this comes out, I am so sorry. Because all those boys, and Lloyd does it in Camp Springs, and that's I haven't been there with the gym, but it's a rough neck of the woods. He's a Q dog as well.
So Lloyd pledged me.
So, Lloyd pledged you?
Lloyd pledged me,
Really?
Yeah. So Lloyd,
I did not know that.
Yeah, so Lloyd, I think, is 91 or 89. I'm 95. So he was still around Bowie State. Matter of fact, he was just getting into jiu-jitsu around that time. So he was like
really?
Yeah, so he just started bringing in. Not people know, like, Lloyd has a black belt in several martial arts.
Oh, I know he a judo black.
Yeah, and so Lloyd almost made an NFL football team by not even playing football. That's how athletic he was. He almost made a professional football team.
Lloyd is a different beast. Lloyd is a different beast. I haven't seen him roll. I've seen Dollar roll with some cats. I have not seen him roll.
Oh, Lloyd is incredible.
I have not seen any. I've seen the old school videos. I have never seen, like, I'm sitting there and Lloyd's rolling.
Yeah.
I've never seen it.
He hasn't. I mean, from when I'm around him now, it's like, sometimes he does, sometimes he doesn't. But he don't get it twisted. He's still a beast. Him, Roddy Ferguson. I mean, those guys are awesome. Tim Spriggs is also, like, I gotta give a shout out to Tim because Tim influenced me so much.
Mushmaster.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Tim, I'm sorry. Tim, I'm sorry. You don't know me, bro, but I'm so sorry. Yeah. Dude, I was talking about all my people. I'm like, I'm forgetting all Lloyd guys, man.
Yeah, those are my guys, especially Tim. Tim has influenced my jiu-jitsu so much over the last 2 years. It's been incredible. So
word. All right, I got one more for Black History Month. Okay. Do you watch a lot of Black History documentaries?
I don't. I should, but I don't.
Okay. Let me ask this question. Okay. You can pass it if you want to. Have you watched the documentary 13th? And what did you learn from that?
I haven't watched 13th.
Oh my God.
I haven't.
Yo, you and my co-host, Miss Ariel Jackson, yes, I'm calling you out. Y'all need to watch the 13th. At least, did you watch Who Shot Michael X?
I didn't watch that either. I'm sorry. So this is my whole thing. So listen. So I grew up in DC. I went to a private Catholic high school, right?
You went to DeMatteis?
I went to Good Counsel. All right, went to Good Counsel. And then I defy, which is normally the Good Counsel way, and I go to Morgan State, which is the black colleges of black colleges.
Oh yeah, it's in Baltimore.
It's in Baltimore.
On the other side of the stadium, though.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's on the east side now. It's not Coppin, but we were so ingrained in blackness, yo, that a lot of times, like I see these shows and I see what people are trying to do with the shows, and I get it, but being on a black campus for 4.5, 5 years changes you. It changes you for the better. I'm a totally different person because of that. And you get to experience it. Like being at a black college, like, oh, it's an HBCU, it may not get enough run in terms of like financially. It's all bullshit. So what happens is you get a chance at an HBCU to go to class and not have to worry about the person next to you thinking that you're good enough or your professor thinking that you're good enough. It's a pure educational environment. Whether it's, black history, you don't have to think about black history because you're in it. You're black. Like, you don't have to think about that anymore. All you're thinking about is the education and graduating and being the best that you can actually be. As opposed to going to a PWI, predominantly white college, which is great. I went there for grad school. But you're always thinking about, does this professor think less of me? I never had that thought in 5 years at Morgan State University. Not once.
Do your daughters go to?
Yes. So I have a daughter that plays volleyball. She goes to Coppin State University. And she's she defied what I wanted, but it's cool.
You want to go to Morgan?
I didn't think she would go to Coppin. It was kind of like we sent her there as like her last recruiting trip, and they swooned her. But she had a good experience. She's gonna play her last year in volleyball at Wilmington University, which is in Delaware. After she graduates, she's graduating in May.
Oh, congrats to her.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. So she has a similar experience. You don't have to worry about the professors, saying, all they want is the best educational experience for you. You don't have to, your race is really irrelevant. So a lot of things that come out, I should be looking at some of those documentaries. I just man, I went to
you get hard. You went to a school that you talked about 24/7.
Yeah, man, that's blackly black. I got
blackly
it all,
black. All right, word. I'm on to the foodie one now. I got two more questions. Well, actually, we're gonna have to cut it. We got to do the foodie one time, and then you got one question. I'm gonna talk to you about the alley-oop in a second.
Okay.
Let me find a nice one here. Man, this is giving me poor questions right now.
Oh no.
Yeah. Nah, like not even interesting conversation. All right, let's get out his more black history, y'all.
Okay.
We got more black history. No, but I already talked.
Just don't ask me about documentaries.
No, I'm not gonna do documentaries anymore. Do you have a favorite black-led television show?
Oh my gosh. I guess it would probably black-led TV. Okay. So I don't think it's probably my favorite. It's just one of the things. It's with what's his name? Anderson. What's his name?
Are you talking about Blackish?
Blackish. I like Blackish because I can kind of relate to what they do. I guess before it was like Cosby when I was a kid growing up.
Yeah, but I there's no knock on Cosby because how could you know at 90?
Yeah. So Cosby was it. I like Blackish. I think they bring up some good topics. I enjoy watching it. All American.
All Americans like that. All American, I like that. I like All American.
All American is probably the show that I dig. I hope they continue that show. I think it's a good, well run show, and I enjoy it. So
I think Blackish. I'm not a big fan of Blackish, but I think what Blackish did to have different shows on like Grand Crew on ABC. About Elementary.
About Elementary is awesome.
Oh my God,
that is hilarious. I'm not even an actor, and I want to be in that show.
That is an amazing show. So I think that kind of stonewalled the way for these other shows.
Absolutely.
I'm not a big Blackish fan. I do like what they represent and all the conversations that they had. I think it just stayed on maybe a season or two longer than it needed to be.
Yep.
But I do like the spinoff that they did with Grownish. I like what they're doing. Definitely like those positive influence ones more than less. All right, now down to the last question, which is basically a question to myself, but it's called the alley oop. All right. So what we do with the alley oop here, you get to ask the host one question.
Right.
One question. I'll let you know if I answer it or not. And if I've answered, you get to ask another question. You get to ask me one question, any question at all.
Okay.
Go.
How's the comedy stuff going? Tell me about it.
All right. Let me get deep. Let me get deep real quick. So comedy for me, I gotta speak on this a couple things. So when my pops passed, right, he was the main person that I would talk to about comedy. Out of everything I did with comedy, or anything I did with my life, there was a couple things that he kind of sticked with. He loved the fact that I was doing the podcast. He loved the fact that I was doing comedy. Loved the fact that I was getting IT because he was an IT guy.
Right.
Everything else he didn't really care about. So when he really cared about something, and that's no diss to him, he just like he liked what he likes. Yeah. So when I started doing comedy, it was one of those things where it was like he would send me clips of stuff. He would invite. He had people that at his job that did writings, that did his Zoom meetings like that. So he'd give me the link for that. Like he was very, very helpful in that sense. And I think I did one show that tripped me up. It was one of my best shows, and since that moment, comedy hasn't been the same for me. So I've been invited to shows. I've been trying to do open mics, especially with the time off I've been had. But I just haven't found the funny. You know what I mean? Like I've been conversationally funny, but it just hasn't been the same since I had one show that I actually hit with a really good joke. That I actually did like a joke including family.
Right.
And a family story, and it hit. I remember, and it was one of the shows my dad was supposed to be at. But he couldn't be at because he felt really sick that day. And then 3 days later, he passed.
Right.
So it kind of hit me different since that moment. Now, am I going to be back in it shortly? Yes. I just got to find, I've been writing. I just got to find that piece, you know? It ain't nothing about like, oh, man, I'm not scared or anything. I think anybody that wants to do it, they can do it. It's just for me personally, it's like I got to find that piece of being comfortable on stage again. Because I was just getting into the fact that I was like, all right, I'm using some family stories. Right. And I was like, I'm going to be talking about him. I'm going to be talking about this. No grimy stuff like that. It was just, to me, it was always like just the respect factor. And then the person I went to for comedy. Because he's the one that got me into Eddie Murphy, Richard Pryor, Red Fox. He was the one that gave me, he soon as Raw and, what's it called? It was Raw and... What was the one where he was in the red? No, red suit was Raw.
Was Raw.
What was the purple suit?
Oh, I forgot that one.
The purple suit, I forget. I'm gonna look it up when I get out of here. But he got me into Raw. Made me watch Kings of Comedy.
Yeah.
Made me watch Bernie Mac, and Bernie Mac's my all-time favorite comic in general. And Dave Chappelle. So he got me into all that. So that's my main thing right now. What's helped me is doing the podcast, and what's helped me is like. When I'm going through these experiences and everything, it's been writing. It's been writing a lot, and I'm going to come back better. I need to shout out Jared from my gym. He knows who he is. He has his own podcast coming, Mad Science's podcast. He's been doing the open mics. He's been doing having the open mic set up, I think, once or twice a week at Shooter's Bar.
I didn't even know he was funny.
He's good. He's funny. He's good. Yeah. We both learned at the same time.
Right.
I actually, when I started going back out, he started doing his back out again. So we were kind of tag team thing. I feel kind of bad because I kind of icing him a little bit because I was like, yo, man, I'm going. But I've been called up with BJJ, and then I don't have time to practice my stuff. And I mean, like, I don't want to go in there. And I've done it. And it's been all right. Like, going there, just have stuff off rip and just try to rip it off. But I want to go in that kind of setting where I'm like, I know what I'm about to say. I know how it's supposed to land. I know how to do all that stuff. I'm taking that more serious as I'm taking this more serious as well, because it's something that I love. If I'm going to just be pacified and just doing it, I shouldn't be doing it. If I'm going to be loving it, I'm obsessed with it, I need to give it my all. So I haven't been able to give, in the short answer, I haven't been able to give comedy my all.
Okay.
But it's going to be coming soon.
Understood.
It's going to be coming soon.
That's good stuff, man.
Yeah, that's a very good question. You're the first person that ever asked me about comedy. as the alley-oop question. So I actually like that, man. But yo, it is that time, guys. It is that time. I'm your boy, The Hype. It's been a wonderful time with my man RC from Oasis Cigars.
Thank you, bro.
Peace, love, and bye.
I got 2 twin Glocks strapped to my hip. Waiting for the ops, waiting for the dip. Got the drip